The Pixel People Pod. Zap, 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 it's on. Rewind the future fraud. The Pixel People Pod.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
Hello.
All right. It's another edition of the Pixel People Pod. And this week we have a special guest besides me and Jan. It's Chris Sisk, or otherwise known as the Podfather.
Hey.
Chris, tell him the two podcasts you used to do and might be doing again.
Well, speaking of that, I brought you something. I've got you some pins that I made for the Box Top podcast. There we go. Got y'all a pin. There we go.
Cool.
I feel so special.
And then the other one is Who Cares What Chris Thinks? That's my two podcasts.
Tell them about the Box Top Pod and what was it about.
Based off of cereal, pretty much only cereal-related podcasts. So the history of cereal, different brands, that history, everything that goes into it, just the world of cereal, basically.
And they're still up, right?
Yeah, they're still up. You
Okay,
can listen to
yeah.
them. And they're coming back
Okay,
soon. So,
nice.
Yeah.
So, yes, there will be another edition of this podcast with Chris one day where we're doing 80s cereal that we loved and the cartoons we watched as we ate our 80s cereal.
And I'll probably bring a couple boxes for that, too.
Oh, very
So
nice.
I got another gift for you real quick before we
Oh,
get
they
started.
get to hear us crunch.
Oh, I got the Catman.
You got
Kiss.
the complete set of
Ooh,
Funkos.
Kiss Funko dolls. Nice.
I've had these. I'm not a massive Kiss fan. I bought them because they were kind of cool, but I don't really care for Kiss, and I know you do.
Okay,
So
nice.
they're yours.
They will go up down here in the Pixel Underground.
Yeah.
I see the spaceman.
I'll find a Eric Carr or Vinnie Vincent one to put to it so it is
Nice.
80s themed.
Yep.
I
There you go.
have a mission now.
I'm putting you on mission. That's good.
So, anyway, okay. So here we were trying to think about what this one should be about. And originally, even though I've already done one on movie sequels, we were going to do one of your top 5 favorite 80s movies.
Yep.
And then it hit me yesterday. All three of us, along with probably about 500 other people, saw L.A. Guns in Hickory last night.
Yep.
Live.
Great
And,
show.
Yeah, it's a great show. They brought it.
Shout out to LA Guns.
Yes. And Phil Lewis, their singer, said, tonight is 1988. That's when their debut album came out. So, it took us back to the 80s. So I thought, since we saw an 80s band live, let's do a podcast on our top 5 80s albums. And the rules were the album had to come out between January 1st, 1980 or December 31st, 1989. It could not be a compilation or greatest hits album. And it could not be a live album. So it has to be an original album. So that's what tonight's podcast is going to be about.
And it was one of the hardest assignments I've ever had to do in my life.
Yes, it's...
And you forgot one rule. You
What?
didn't say that it couldn't be from a soundtrack from a movie.
Yeah, soundtrack, yeah. Because if it could, Rocky IV
That's when
soundtrack would have been on my
going to
list.
put that on there.
But
Because,
see, you didn't say that, so
Yeah.
one of mine is possibly a soundtrack.
I bet it's Footloose.
That's a compilation, though.
No, this one's
That's
not.
going to mean
Well-
you're
This one
also
is not.
ran.
That's when I thought
Yep.
about it, too. I'm like, can we do a soundtrack? Because it is a bunch of different
Yeah.
songs from different artists, but it is an album
I
for
thought
a
last
specific
night I
thing.
said it couldn't be, but I don't remember. But I know that I wouldn't allow it because if I allowed it, really, seriously, the Rocky IV soundtrack is the greatest movie soundtrack ever made. I'm sorry.
You'll allow this one. One, because you have to live with me. Two,
Okay.
because when you hear it, you'll be like, oh, yeah, that's awesome.
Okay, we'll see. All right. So that's what our topic is tonight. But also we have a few new segments we've added for this. And the first new segment we've added is Jan's Gnarly News. So Jan, bring us the news.
All right. Today being October 2nd, I will remind you guys that October 2nd, 1985, the very first episode of The Golden Girls aired. Did y'all watch that? Don't lie. Don't lie.
Unfortunately.
I actually watched it and I liked it.
I watched it because my parents watched it.
Yeah,
So.
that's how I got into it. But I
Yeah.
liked it. It was funny. So I don't know if I could watch it now, but I liked it then.
What was funny was they said that those women are now something about their age was kind of
Well,
what-
the oldest one that played B. Arthur's mom.
Yeah, she was the younger.
She was the
than-
youngest
yeah,
of
that's
all
right.
of them.
I knew it was
Yeah.
some weird something.
Yeah,
but
she was younger than him. It's so, yeah.
Yeah.
And on October 2nd, 1984, Papa John's Pizza was formed.
Really?
Nice.
October 2nd, 1982, the
Okay.
song Jack and Diane.
Oh,
You know, that little ditty about two American kids
I
growing
love
up in the
Cougar.
heartland.
I love
It
Cougar.
hit
all I
number
know
one.
Is, all I know is if you see him around Corn Dog 7, run him off.
We settled that one. I got you
Yeah.
proof there was a Corn Dog 7 in the Valley Hills
that's.
Mall.
I'm going to do errors and omissions from last week's podcast after
Yeah,
this.
I got
so,
you proof.
Did y'all also know that that was John Cougar's first and only number one?
Did not know that.
No.
I would have thought Pink Houses or something like that would have been number one.
Yeah,
but,
but I didn't know that.
Of course, we all know that John Cougar then became John Cougar Mellencamp and then John Mellencamp.
Yeah. I prefer John Cougar.
I still call him Cougar.
October 2nd, 1980, Larry Holmes defeated Muhammad Ali in the WBC Heavyweight Championship.
I remember watching that with my dad.
1980.
Yeah.
Born on October 2nd. People from the 80s.
Ooh,
Not
okay.
born in the 80s, but that we remember from the 80s.
Sure.
Sting.
The
was
wrestler?
No, the singer.
The singer.
Yeah.
He was born October 2nd. And Tiffany was born October 2nd.
She was just playing live the other night. I saw clips of it on
In
Facebook.
a mall?
I think she was in a mall, to be
Probably,
honest. I think
probably,
it was. Yeah.
October 2nd, 1985, Rock Hudson died from AIDS.
The first major celebrity to.
He should have got
that.
what Magic had done to him. He'd still be alive.
He didn't have Magic's money.
That's right.
So.
That's true.
All right. And my last one for
Okay.
today. October 2nd, 1987. The UK music chart topper Rick Ashley,
Never going to
his
give you up.
single, it hit number one.
Jan just rickrolled us all.
I did.
Good Lord.
And that was Jan's Gnarly News.
Oh, gnarly!
Very nice.
Very
Good
nice.
job, Jan.
Good job.
Thank you.
So that brings me to I need to make a sound for this one, but errors and omissions. Okay. So my friend, I still do not believe that there's a Corn Dog 7 in Valley Hills Mall. Last week I said there wasn't one, and Jan was talking about how there's one in Chevy Mall. But come to find out, Chris, go ahead and tell us.
My ex-wife actually had a part-time job. She was the manager of KB Toys in the mall, and then she'd get off work and would go work at the Corn Dog 7. She did it for about 6 months. Not a long time, but she did it.
So I had no idea out of all the years I hung out at Valley Hills Mall in Hickory, North Carolina, that there was a Corn Dog 7 there.
Yeah, I don't know how long it was there. She was there for 6 months. It lasted a couple of years probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was down when the food court was downstairs and was just the
Yeah,
mall
this had
was
to have been
the,
in the early 90s, though,
Yeah, it
right?
was the
'Cause,
great one.
Or
The mall
are
was
you a
great.
secret anti-corn dog person?
much like John Cougar, I prefer a chili dog, but, you know,
Outside the Tasty Freeze.
either way, I'm not going to eat them the way he eats them. So,
Yeah.
corn dog or chili dog. So, yeah, there's errors and omissions. Also, and somebody can correct me on this, last week I was talking about Circuit City,
Mm-hmm.
and I was telling Jan's cousin Dennis about how I remember they had a, what's it again, a roller? What's it
Conveyor
called?
belt.
Conveyor belt. Where you got your product at Circuit City, and you tell them, and then they roll it out on the conveyor belt after you paid for it. And he goes, "Yeah, Service Merchandise did that too." And then it hit me. I think my recollection of getting my hi-fi stereo at Circuit City in Gastonia was actually at that store.
No, I think you're sorry. I think you're right because I'm thinking about it like when we talked about it last night. I remember like the way they set it up. It was like there was a legitimate roller belt there, like back wall where they would send stuff to the
Right.
front. I don't know if that was
Okay.
just for
Maybe
stuff.
they-
I don't know, but I
Maybe
do
they
remember
both
that.
had that then, so it's
It's
like
possible.
it's a possible error. So yeah, okay.
And then how we talked about Circuit City birthed CarMax.
Yes.
So that's
Tell them that. Yeah.
So in '93, Circuit City decided they wanted to branch out to more than just electronics. So they decided, hey, we're going to open a car lot. We're going to sell it just like we do our merchandise. No haggle on the pricing, straightforward. Here it is, take it or leave it. And they started it in '93, and it grew to that. Now Circuit City is no longer existent, and CarMax was at one time the biggest used car dealership in the world.
Then Chris left. And went
That's
to work
right. When
somewhere
I left,
else.
it all went downhill. So that's true, though.
Yeah. So there you go. So I guess that brings us to our actual topic of the day. But you know what? I think before we do the topic, we'll go ahead and run out our '80s sponsor for the day.
Oh,
This episode is brought to you by Bubble Yum.
You work so hard, now have some fun and yum it up with a new kind of bubble yum. Lemon and lime at the same time to
2 flavors in one. New luscious lime and banana berry split.
Yum it up with bubble yum.
I picked that one because the banana and strawberry bubble yum was my favorite bubble gum in the 80s. Anything banana artificially flavored, I
Right.
loved.
You're gross.
Did you like, not bubble yum, but did you like Fruit Stripe?
Yeah, I love Fruit
Yes.
Stripe
Yes.
for the first 5 seconds
Yeah.
you put it in your mouth.
It was great. It was
Yeah.
great at the time. But yeah.
Yeah, they don't make it anymore. They
think
stopped it
so.
like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Also, Big League Chew.
Oh yeah, Big League. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So let's get to the topic.
All right, let's do it.
So I think the best way to do this is we start with Chris and we go counterclockwise and we just rattle off like our. I'd say the first. Let's rattle off our also rans that maybe didn't make our top 5. But
Sure.
this is in no order, by the way. If we say 5, it means as much to us as our number 1.
Right. So I will go through. I've got 2 pages of albums here from the 80s, but I wrote down like 5, and I'm just going to name them off. I'm not going into detail with them, but Garth Brooks' debut album was massive for the country music industry. I remember getting that album. I thought it was really cool back in the day. Don't forget about Milli Vanilli. You know, that whole thing.
Awesome duo.
I did
Yeah.
forget about that
Yeah,
one.
that was great back in the day.
Everyone had that
I
album.
know. Men at Work, the Business as Usual album.
Yeah.
What a great album. Then Tom Petty with Free Falling on it.
Yeah.
Full Moon Fever.
Well, yeah, and it's
Yeah, and
on the
I
wall
just
right
looked
there.
at it right
Yeah,
there.
it's
That's
on
when
the
I
wall
wrote.
and the pixel
I was
on the
riding
ground.
here and I
Yeah.
wrote down. I said, let me write this down.
Yeah.
Then I got Bruce Hornsby, The Way It Is. I remember back at Ford, we did some kind of contest. You got to draw a prize out of the box. I remember drawing that The Way It Is CD out of the box
Oh,
and
that's
put it
cool.
in my car, and it stayed in my car and played over. And I loved it. I mean, I still listen to it nowadays. And then Styx, Kilroy Was Here, Mr. Roboto. Those are the ones that I thought of that meant a lot to me that I can remember back from my days.
Those are your also rans. though,
Yeah,
right?
those are
Okay,
not my
okay.
top 5.
Okay.
Those are the ones that had contention.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's run out our also rans, and then we'll go to our top 5. So, Jan, give us your also rans.
Well, first of all, earlier today I told these guys that they were evil for making me narrow this down to 5. It's
You're
like
welcome.
it's like telling a kid they can only have one piece of candy out of a 5-gallon bucket full of candy. It's hard to do.
And you would never do it. We've seen our grandkids and kids; they just take what they want.
That's what grandkids do.
Well, then my list is going to be 20 tonight.
Okay, no.
This will be
All
a
right.
3-hour podcast.
So my list of honorable mentions, and my criteria was this had to be an album where I never skipped a song. You listened to every song because they were all awesome, and you listened to it over and over and over. So here's my honorable mentions. Kicks, Blow My Fuse.
Is that it? You only got the one?
Oh,
Oh, that's good. Good list. Good
I
list.
can't read my
That's-
writing.
Lord.
Motley Crue, Dr. Feelgood, Bullet Boys, Bullet Boys.
That didn't make your top 5. I'm shocked.
What, the
telling you,
Bullet
this
Boys or
was
Motley
hard.
Crue?
The Bullet Boys.
Oh.
That's a great album.
Bang Tango, Psycho Cafe, which Greg had never heard of Bang Tango.
I've never heard of Bang Tango.
I've heard of her now because she plays it constantly.
Well, you said, what's the other one you said upstairs?
The other
Oh,
one that
never
gets
heard
an
of.
honorable mention is DAD, which is Disneyland After Dark.
Yeah,
No
no clue.
Fuel Left for the Pilgrims, which Greg also had never heard of.
Right.
But great album, start to finish, great.
And speaking of that band, if you pull that up on Spotify or somewhere, pull up Sleeping My Day Away. It should have been a hit in the 80s. I'll give Jan credit. That was a great song by that band.
Also, an honorable mention for me, Rat, Out of the Cellar. Tesla, Mechanical Resonance. Aldo Nova. Faith No More, The Real Thing. Great album. Van Halen, OU812. And Ozzy, Ultimate Sin.
Did
So that was your also rans.
the one that you mentioned there, it was late 80s, not early 90s?
Which one?
Did you say Faith No More?
It was 80s, I double checked.
It was like 89 or something.
Well,
like
that was the thing, too, because I was looking through it, and one of mine was Extreme Porno Graffiti, and that came out like
Yeah.
in August of 1990. It was so ill. And Queensryche Empire came out in 92, 1990 as well.
89 on The Real Thing.
Now, I guess this brings me to my also rants, which are not as many as you guys had. But one of them that was Shout at the Devil of Motley Crue. And the reason that was because when I was in Boy Scouts and we go on trips, Randall Shaw had that cassette. And if you looked at the cover of that cassette, they all look like Satan incarnate on the
Yeah.
cover of it. And it used to like,
Great
oh, that's
album.
spooky. And
Yeah.
we'd play that all the time on trips with the Scouts, and it was a great album, and it stuck with me. Even though I don't like Motley Crue that much anymore, that album's still great. Hall & Oates, Private Eyes, the
Mhm.
first album I ever bought with my own money on vinyl.
Yep.
And still holds up. And so, Run DMC, Raising Hell, God, that was a great rap album. So, and then I guess my last one I'd say, my Awesome Ram. And the only reason this did not make my top 5, there's a reason for this, is Bobby Brown, Don't Be Cruel, 1988. That would have made my top 5. I wore that cassette out.
Look right here. On my list, I had it down to 9, and I kind of narrowed it down.
Yeah.
Don't Be Cruel, Bobby Brown.
Oh, cool. There you
I
go.
love that
Yeah.
album. That
Yeah,
was
Jan rolls her eyes at it every time.
well, it's like Jan only listened to I think hair metal back in the '80s. She didn't
Yeah.
hear that there's another style of music out there.
Yeah.
But no, like the Bobby Brown was in my contention of making my top. I love that album.
Yeah, that album just so great.
It was so good.
And the only reason I didn't put it on there is because, as much as I loved it, the remix Dance, You Know It remix album they did of that album that came out like 6 months later, I think I played it as much as I did,
When I was putting my list together today, I actually was just going through my albums and I played the Don't Be Cruel album like beginning to end,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was like still could like sing all the words like to the big hits like without missing a beat.
We were coming home the other day, and I think it was Every Little Step I Take was
Yeah,
on.
What's a great song?
And I was singing every word of the Jan, and she was rolling her eyes. And
Like
I was
I am
like, you
now.
don't understand how great this album was to me back when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
It
So,
was
yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, good stuff. So, that was my also rans. Yeah. So, I guess we throw it back to Chris now for
All right.
his first top 5.
In no particular order, me and Greg went to see this band live. I've seen them 4 or 5 times now. It is Tesla, the Great Radio Controversy. I was between that and Mechanical Resonance, because Mechanical Resonance had Modern Day Cowboy on it, Changes, and Getting Better. Those were on there. But in this album, it's got Heaven's Trail, Hang Tough, Love Song, and The Way It Is. And I just love that grittiness about that group. Just like they were in the big hair era, but they weren't big hair. They were just like, here's our rock music, like it or not. We're going to play as hard and as loud, as rough as we want to, and you're going to enjoy it. And it was
in a similar vein to like Guns N' Roses, how they were considered part of their hair mark, but they
Yeah.
weren't. They
right.
were just straight, good,
Yep.
bluesy rock and roll.
Yeah, and then the Great Radio Controversy, it was named after the controversy of who created the radio. That's kind of where that came from. And then it sold over 2 million albums, which back in the day when we had to actually go physically buy albums, that's pretty good for a group that didn't hit mainstream like wasn't
yeah.
large. And then they weren't big hair, like I said, they were in that era. But I just love the whole thing about Tesla. I've seen them. I'll go see them every time they're within driving distance. I love that band. So that's one of my top 5s.
All right, Jan, we're up to you.
All right. Well, I have to mention Great White album from 1984. First time I heard Jack Russell's voice, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
Get the pun?
Tell everyone, I got. Tell everyone that's your band, right?
Yeah, Great White is my band. Jack Russell was my man.
You
I mean, he could have sang a speeding ticket to me, and I would have stood there and asked him for another one.
Where's the picture of him on your wall?
no, it's not a
I
picture.
have a
We
signed
have
album from
that
Jack
album
Russell.
right there.
Oh, I
signed
see
by
it.
Jack
Nice.
Russell.
I knew there had to be something down here.
We actually saw him live, 2 years ago? About a year and a half before he died.
It was a year before he died.
We're
Yeah,
supposed
they
to
had to
go
bring him out and
recently.
sit him in a chair, and he sang with acoustic band and sounded as
But
good as he
can
ever
still
did.
sing so great.
But
He
didn't
was
we-
so frail.
Well, he's supposed to be. We were going to go see him in Newton, and then
Yeah,
he
he-
died. Like
Yeah,
He died.
passed away.
they canceled the show, and like
Yeah.
2 days later, he died.
Yeah.
It's sad.
Great songs on that album. Well, they were all great. Face the Day. Was that on that album?
You're the expert.
My albums are all running together. But again, not a song on that album that I would skip past. You have to listen to all of them. They're that great.
Okay, so my first of my 5, I'm just going to throw out the big one because this one's probably the album I listened to the most. 1984 Van Halen.
I knew it. I wrote down Van Halen,
Yeah.
and I was going to ask you, is 84 or OU 812?
Well, we'll get to that, but
Yeah.
both are on my list.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
1984, not even for the fact that I I got introduced to Van Halen with the Diver Down cassette, and then I went backwards on that. I remember my best friend Eric for Christmas one year. They got me Diver Down and Fair Warning. And Fair Warning is their most evil, dark album, cussing on it and everything.
Right.
So I got broken on that early, so
Yeah.
then I got into everything else. But 1984, though, that album just hit,
Yeah.
And even the cover of the angel smoking the cigarette
Yeah.
is the coolest cover. I have
Yeah.
it on the wall here. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that album.
Yeah. And I mean, you remember as a kid, you're like, oh, Hot for Teacher. That
Yeah.
video,
Oh, yeah,
that,
yeah.
but like Panama, that stuff. I mean,
Well,
it's just Jump, all that stuff. Is
Yeah, that's the
just,
hits. I'll wait.
I know.
They
Oh, God,
first
that's a good
introduced
song.
it.
Yeah.
Wasn't the first Van Halen song with keyboards, but that album
Yeah.
was the first Van Halen album that had a lot of keyboards on it.
Right.
But they were great, I thought.
Yeah.
But see, I love like Talk Jimmy, Drop Dead Legs, House
Yeah.
of Pain,
The songs that don't
the
get
songs
played.
that don't
Yeah.
get played. Yeah, and just that whole. To this day, I hear so many Van Halen fans and so many people that want to think they're cool in a room, be like, oh, Jump. But I never hear that song again. Jump is a great song. I'm sorry. That is a
Yeah.
great song. Structurally, it is a great song. If you go back and break it down, get on YouTube sometime and find the isolated tracks on that. He has like 4 or 5 layers of keyboard synthesizer on that song, and they just work perfectly. So that album that's my
Yeah.
that's my
I mean, it's
80s album.
It's a great album.
Yeah.
It was,
Considering that I'm such a big Sammy Hagar fan,
Yeah.
but nothing's top it, and that
Yeah.
happens to be their.
and
It's a diamond selling. It sold over 10 million.
We'll get to
albums.
that here shortly, I'm
Yeah.
sure, in our discussion.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that, I was going to ask you, because I knew the Van Halen, like you said, if we were doing all 70s, it'd be 5 Rolling Stones. I'm like, no, it wouldn't. There's no way, because you go back and listen to the debut Van Halen album was in the
Yeah.
70s. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Mine would be 3 Stones and probably 2 Led
Yeah.
Zeppelin.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, there's such a good genre like of that. So
Yeah.
I was going to ask you that anyway. So
All right, so toss it back to you.
all right, my next one is one I didn't think of last night. I thought about it today. I was off work today, so I got to listen to a lot of music today. It is a little album from 1987 called Hysteria by Def Leppard. Oh, do you have that on your list?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a
And-
big album.
And the name of the album I found out today from research is Rick Allen. He was in the car accident, got his arm amputated. The whole world. That's how the album got their name. The hysteria around. He came up with that.
Really?
He's like, that's how they came up with the name. The
Interesting.
hysteria around that whole accident is what I read online today.
What's this about a drummer and an arm? Ever
Yeah,
heard of-
he's
yeah.
and anybody that tells me that Neil Peart or anybody is a better drummer than him, they do it with 2 arms. He does it with 1. That's what I'm saying.
Neil
So-
Peart's a better
No,
drummer.
I'm just. He's got 1 arm.
I
He's got,
did
I bet he's
see
better
a-
than. I mean, I'm
He's
just
better
kidding
than
about that.
me, and I've
Well,
got 2
yeah,
arms.
I know.
But,
You know what I'm saying though.
yeah.
But
I watched a video. If you go on YouTube and pull up Def Leppard Charlotte Hornets Arena, I think it is,
Yeah.
when they played in like 88 or 89, and they're recording with a handheld camera, and they're showing how he plays those
Right.
drums, and it's amazing to
Yeah.
watch.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm just joking about that, but it's just amazing to watch the guy
it is.
go
I mean,
through what he's gone through.
Great. Yeah.
But then the thing about that, it sold over 25 million copies.
Yeah.
I remember the whole, like, when Pour Some Sugar on Me video came out, and Joe Elliott's got the ripped up pants that are barely holding on because they have legs cut all the way down. And it's just the spectacle of the entire thing. I mean, and it had 7 songs released on that album as singles. And I know Joe Elliott was talking about, they talked him into releasing Animal first, and he's like, that shouldn't have been the first one, but that's the first one they released off of it. And it just got bigger and bigger, and it was just that arena rock that was just, they were like the biggest thing in the world for. And that album, I bought that album, and I was just like, I don't think I ever took it out of my tape deck at the time. It just played over and over. It was such a good album.
By the way,
Great
kind of
album.
off topic, but not off topic. I'm going to say, as somebody who's in a band and all the infighting that goes on in a band, and being my number 1 band besides the Stones is Van Halen, and watching all the infighting from that.
Right.
Def Leppard sticking with their drummer when he lost his arm, and
Yeah.
sticking with him all these years, and it's been those main guys except
Yeah.
for Pete Willis, and he was drinking, and they left him out. But props to them, man.
Yeah.
You could very easily said, let him go, and nobody would have faulted you at all.
Right.
And they're like, no,
Yeah.
you're part of the band, so that's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was just a great album. I thought about that today. I'm like, wait a minute. We're old, so, forget about things. But
Oh, yeah.
still.
All right, Jan.
Well, I have to bring up Skid Row
Mhm.
from
Oh,
1989.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Classics like Big Guns. She got them big guns pointed at my heart.
That's the big one you're thinking about from that album?
Sweet Little Sister. With lyrics like, She got her hands in the cookie jar, smiling like an alligator. She'll love you black and blue, sweet little sister. Yeah, that was a great album.
Can you sing that song nowadays?
I will give, by the way, to add on to her thing right there. As much as I dislike Sebastian Bach now, go look up I think it's Matt Fallon or their original singer. Go look up the demos for what's the big song? 18 in Life. Look up the demos for that when they had their original singer. Those songs were complete before Sebastian Bach ever got to band. And then listen to his demos and then listen to what they became. You would have never heard of Skid Row without Sebastian
Right,
Bach.
yeah.
As much of a pain in their ass as he is.
But the thing
You know.
too, now they're looking for a new lead singer, and I'm like, just call Sebastian. Just get it
Well,
back. Come on, run it
listen,
back.
I've heard interviews with Snake Sabo
Yeah,
and them.
and Rachel.
They
yeah.
would rather play to 200 people a night without
I got it.
him being a pain in the butt than play to 20,000 people.
Yeah.
You
That
know, they
makes
don't need the
sense.
money.
I got it.
So
Yeah.
yeah. So all right. Oh, it's my turn. That's right. Okay. So I'm just gonna keep it on. Since I was doing that, Van Halen at OU812.
Gotcha.
It was a toss up on this between 5150 and this one, but I got to thinking about what meant more to me in the 80s, and I have a image in my head that is always there, and I can remember it just like it happened yesterday. I had my Volkswagen Bug after I had it all fixed up, put a stereo in it. It had a sunroof in it, an old crank sunroof, 69 Volkswagen Bug. And it was probably October, and I had that cassette in, and I'm flying down the road here near my house, and the leaves are on the road, and I've got my sunroof cranked down, there's a little cool breeze blowing in, and I've got Feels So Good by Van Halen blasting. And right then, it was like, that's as good as life's ever going to get. To me, in my head, it's like, this is awesome. In my own car, blasting my Van Halen. You know, that whole album is just great. People dog it as like the worst Sammy album, but no, that album's great, man. Black and Blue,
Yeah.
everything. I mean, you know.
I was
Is that the one with Inside?
Yeah. No, that's on 5150.
Okay.
I was, and always I've always been more of a Van Halen with Roth instead of Van Hagar. I've always because that's what I grew. That was their original for me, right?
Yeah.
But as I get older, I like the Hagar stuff a little bit more now because
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just as I gotten older, I kind of like that a little more than I used to. But they're still both great. Don't get me wrong.
Well,
but,
that's the whole thing. I saw it as I got older. Was if you listen back to it, the raw stuff rocked harder. But when Sammy came in, it opened Eddie up to doing so much more musicianship, and it's more complex music, and he could sing stuff that Roth couldn't. You know, and I look at it as like a different band, but I love them. But I love them both equally. But I love Sammy solo way more than Roth.
I mean, Gary Sharon was better. But anyway.
I actually liked
I like
half
that
that
album.
album.
Yeah, that was good.
So,
Van Halen 3? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
all right.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Here's another one I forgot about, but today when it dawned on me, I'm like, how can I leave this? It was like 5 minutes before I left my house. I'm like, oh crap, I got to go get this one. Huey Lewis and the News Sports.
That was on my also ran. It's right here,
Yeah.
right down. Huey Lewis. Yeah.
That was awesome. I mean, it reached number 1 in 1994 and charted for 160 weeks. They sold over 10 million copies of it. It was ranked number 2 on the Billboard chart in 1984 as the second best album of the year. And then, you know, the whole thing with I Want a New Drug with the Ghostbusters controversy and Ray Parker. And
If you don't know that, people, look that up.
Yeah. And then,
Ray Parker stole that song.
yeah, and I found out today that part of the settlement was The Power of Love was included on the Back to the Future soundtrack as part of the settlement. So in that movie he settled, they had to put a song in the Back to the Future. That's what I read today online.
Yeah.
So, but no, what a great album. Sports is unreal. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I think everybody had that album.
Yeah.
You know,
And they've got it at Walmart in the vinyl section. I saw it yesterday, $24.97. When we bought it, it's like $7.
Yeah, $7,
it's
$8 bucks.
Yeah, now it's $25 for a vinyl.
Yeah, it's funny though that I'm glad that got brought up because it wasn't my also rans, but I was like,
Yeah.
I left it out. So
And it's sad that he has the vocal issues now. He can't sing anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, I loved it.
All right, my next one is Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction,
that had to make somebody's list.
1987.
That had to make somebody's
I didn't
list.
pick it because it was going to be on somebody else's list. It was a great album.
Yeah.
Awesome
but-
album.
I
You
would-
got Welcome to the Jungle,
Yeah.
Night Train, It's So Easy,
All-
Sweet Child of Mine,
All killer, no filler. That's an album that fits that mode.
Mr. Brownstone.
Mr. Brownstone. And you've also got Anything Goes with great lyrics that I absolutely love.
What are
Tied
they?
up, tied down, up
Oh.
against the wall, be my Rubbermaid baby. We can do it all.
This is an adult podcast, apparently. So, you know, parental guidance.
There's a reason I married her.
Yeah. She's
That's
a
her
female
good
you.
looks. Yeah. So, oh, much. We're
No,
back to
that's
me.
a good album.
Okay, I'm getting off the Van Halen kick here. I'm sure a lot of people are happy for that. I'm going to my rap mode.
Mm.
So I have 2 rap albums.
Okay.
I'm going to do this one, but as far as quality goes, the next one I do after this is the one that's like broke the mold. But I'm putting Beastie Boys' License to Ill. 1986, diamond selling, sold over 10 million copies. Everybody had that album. Even Jan, who's not a big rap fan. Jan, did you own this album?
I did.
Yeah. So, everybody had that Beastie Boys album. I can remember getting it at Sky City in Hickory, which we talked about last week. And we're in my mom's Maverick. And I put the cassette tape in. We're riding home. And Fight for Your Right to Party's playing. And he goes, now your mom threw away your best porno mag. And my mom looks at me like, what are you listening to? And I was like, it's the Beastie Boys.
Remind me when I go over my last one. My
Yeah.
mom got on me for a lyric in one of the songs, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
And like, you just reminded me of that.
That reminded me, too, also of my Raisin Hell. I had my dad come in my room one night. And it's like 86 or 87. And I had my Run DMC Raisin Hell cassette playing. And he picked it up. It just says Raisin Hell on the cover. He goes, is this really what you want to be listening to? I was like, yeah, it is, Dad. Not knowing that I had way worse rap. It's like you would want your children to listen to Run DMC compared to what I was listening to out in my car.
Slick Rick, Two Live Crew.
Two Live
Live
Crew,
Crew.
which everybody had.
Slick
Yeah,
Rick.
as nasty as they want to be. I think everybody can put that as like
Yeah.
that's yeah. So yeah, Beastie Boys. So all right, Chris.
All right. So I've got 2 left, and then this one is probably one of my top 3 or 4 albums ever. 70s, 80s, 90s. Now it doesn't matter. This album is, in my opinion, and it's way off of anything else I've talked about, my favorite solo artist of all time. Which people think that's funny when I tell them this, but it's George Michael Faith. That is my absolute favorite album he ever did.
It was awesome.
It was 51 weeks, non-consecutive weeks in the Billboard top 10 of the top 200. 12 weeks at number 1, sold over 25 million copies. He was the first white solo artist to ever hit number 1 on the Billboard Black Albums chart, and it had 4 number 1 hits on that. It had Faith, it had Father Figure, One More Try, and Monkey were all 4 number 1s. But then also had I Want Your Sex, Hard Day, and Kissing a Fool. And when you buy the CD, and even on the Apple Music, whatever, they've got remixes of some of those albums that are just blows me away. That guy, to me, was just everything about him was like cool. I mean, it was just like, I was in Wham. I did that whole thing. Now I'm going to go complete opposite of that to this album. And it was just like, I remember watching Faith, and I'm like, oh my God, what is this? And I listened to it, and I was blown away. To me, that's one of my top 2 or 3 albums of any genre ever. I love that album. I play it at least once a month all the way through, still today.
It also gave us one of the greatest cover songs. Limp Bizkit,
Yeah,
Faith is
yeah,
a killer
yeah,
cover song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and then then it went into the album that I would have put equal to it is Listen Without Prejudice Volume 1. It was in the early 90s, and he just shed that whole thing and just did a complete 180 on that as well. So he's done like Wham, then he did that, and he was just so talented and such a great singer, such a great performer.
I would never dog you for that, because in my vinyl collection over there across the room, if you flip through it, one of the first vinyl albums I owned that my parents bought me was Captain Tennille, Love Will Keep Us
Nice.
Together.
Yeah,
So I
nice.
have a Captain Tennille album.
Yeah.
I can't sing anything about George Michael.
I will tell you, I was in Arizona visiting my aunt and uncle for the summer when that album came out. And I asked my uncle, hey, will you go pick that album up for me? He goes, yeah. He thought it was a Christian album because it was Faith. And he said he picked it up and looked, and he said, he come back and he said, I'm not buying it. It's got a song called I Want Your Sex on it. You're not getting that album. So I had to go buy it on my own. But I bought it and played it. And I've had a couple copies of cassettes, a couple CDs. So, I mean, I've had it. I saw my digital stuff now. It's just one of my favorite albums ever.
All right.
Do you
Up
do-
next on my list is the 1986 album from Fastway, Trick or
Oh.
Treat.
Okay.
Also from the movie.
Okay. Okay.
Oh,
Now,
this
wait
is
a
what
minute.
we're talking about. Okay.
We had a discussion before this about, it's during we were talking about it on the podcast, whether a movie soundtrack. This will be allowed because it's a movie soundtrack, but it's original songs for the movie. So that album is fine. And it is a killer album.
Did they make the movie after the soundtrack, like
They-
the album?
No,
Kinda
I
like
think
they
they
did Purple
said
Rain?
here's the movie. This is what it's about, and they wrote the soundtrack just to fit sort of the.
Gotcha.
And it is,
It is a great album.
Mhm.
it's a good movie too.
The movie is awesome. Greg had never seen
Yeah.
it.
I think I saw it one time.
Yeah,
so.
it's a great album and great movie because Sammy Kerr
Yeah.
was the rock star singer.
Sammy
in the
Kershaw?
movie. Sammy Kerr.
Oh.
We actually know somebody who has a Sammy Kerr tattoo.
We actually have a poster thing coming from Timu that's going down here in the basement of Sammy Kerr from the Trick or Treat.
Old Timu.
So
But that album had great songs like "Don't Stop the Fight," "If You Could See," "Get Tough," "Stand Up."
Yeah.
So, great
yeah,
album.
I'll give you. Yeah, that's a. I'm glad that made the list. It's an all killer, no filler to me. And like I say, I didn't really know it. I like Fastway, but I liked their other stuff. I never really listened to that until me and Jen got together, and I was like, yeah. And then we watched the movie one night. I was like, this is a good movie. It's a good, which could be a topic for the end of the month on 80s horror movies.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be the Halloween edition. So, all right. So I'm gonna throw my other rap album on here that made my list. Now I could have threw this whole list of rap. I didn't put any NWA on there. The DOC. I could put anything. But okay, Public Enemy. It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back. 1988. That album changed my life because that was technically my first concert I ever went to. Me and Michael Heiser went, and it was the Run DMC Tougher Than Leather tour. It's 88. And Public Enemy opened for him. And I think Kid and Play and somebody else opened, and then it was Public Enemy. And like Kid and Play had been dancing, and might have been Queen Latifah. So there was like two, dancing around, hey. And then Public Enemy's time comes up, and they start playing air raid sirens. The lights go out, and the S1Ws, they're like soldiers come out marching. And they come out and just like, whoa, it just blew us away. We're like, who is this? Me and him both went out that week and bought their first album. Then like 2 weeks later, It Takes a Nation of Millions comes out. And I've probably played that album more times than any album I've ever owned. Over rock, everything.
Did it have 911 as a joke?
No, that was on Welcome to Terradome.
Okay.
This had Don't Believe the Hype. It had, you probably don't know anything off of it, but it
No.
is a lot of people argue it's the greatest rap album ever made. So, and it's that good. And it's, I can still rap you everywhere that I
In my rap, it consisted of Kumo D and people like that.
Yeah,
not the
well,
hardcore
that
stuff.
was, that was that. But then, like, Public Enemy turning it around, really, there was some stuff like The Message and stuff. But when Public Enemy hit, they started putting some political stuff and, into their stuff. And they changed the game. And then it went from them and Boogie Down Productions trying to, like, get their message out to, like, we need unity and about racism. And then NWA and them come out and just kick the door down. Like, we're taking it a whole nother level. So, which I could have put every NWA album on my list, but I didn't. So,
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
all right, my last one. This is number 5. And this is my absolute favorite album. Well, it's my favorite all-time group. Not even close to who this is.
yeah, I already know who this is.
You know who it is. If you don't, if you know me well enough, you know who this is. This was like a gateway drug almost for me, in the fact that not this album, but their album before, Permanent Vacation, introduced me to them. Like, really introduced me. I knew a little bit of the stuff, but then I went and bought everything from the 70s. And it was just, they just blew me away. It was just amazing. And then after Permanent Vacation came out, and that had Ragdoll and Angel and Hangman Jury, St. John, stuff like that. Then Pump comes out, 1989. And that was absolutely a perfect album, in my opinion. In that, there's one of those songs in there that it says, masturbating with a noose. And my mom heard that when we were getting ready for church one morning, and she blew her lid. And she's like, you turn that off right now. But they were got me back into rock and roll, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It sold 7 million copies,
I think everybody forward that year had that album.
And then The Making of Pump came out. They had it on MTV. Then I bought the DVD where it showed from the first time that Steven Tyler bought a Korg keyboard. And he's like, I started here all the way to the printing, and he pops it and puts it in his back pocket. He goes, I got the album out. It comes there. showed how they named the album, showed that how they narrowed all the songs down, and then shout out to old Todd Spiegel if you're listening. Me and him went to go see Pump in Charlotte.
Oh, that's cool.
And what was cool was the top of the stage was the top of a hotel, and then they had the word Charlotte spelled backwards. So every time they went to, they were on the top of a hotel, and the name of the city was spelled backwards. So like if you were looking out, from this side of it. Great show. Four Non Blondes opened for them, which to me was like whatever. But
What's going on?
yeah, that's what I was thinking. What's going on here? But it was
What's
just
Up is actually the name
it's
of the song.
yeah. I don't know.
That was our best cover song my band ever did.
Nice.
People went crazy for that song.
Yeah. But it had Love in an Elevator, What It Takes, The Other Side, and Janie's Got a Gun, of course. And that was the first Grammy they ever won. It was just, and it just exploded them back. They were popular in the 70s, had a lull because of infighting, drugs, stuff like that. Then they came back with Dumb with Mirrors. It did okay. Then they hit Permanent Vacation, which blew up. And then the MTV. And then MTV had their 10th anniversary special. And Aerosmith performed. And Steven Tyler comes riding out of the ceiling with an orchestra behind him, playing a piano, playing Dream On. They come down. He gets off there, and they start playing, and the band's behind him. It's mind-blowing. I still watch that video a lot. To me, that was it. That was my first real rock love as far as music. To me, they're the greatest rock band of all time. I know you disagree. A lot of people might. But to me,
They're up there in my book.
they're the greatest of all time, in my opinion, and love everything about them. It's just that album to me is perfect.
Poor man Stones. That's
You're only saying that because he's got big lips, like big mouth like him. Yeah.
all right, Jan. Let's get to your final
All
one.
right, my final one has to be something from AC/DC, Back in Black, 1980.
Oh,
I knew
about
somebody.
that
Well,
one.
I knew it was going to get picked because
Forgot about that one.
me and Wes were talking last night, waiting
Yeah.
at the concert in the bar. And he said, "Yeah, it has to be Appetite or AC/DC, Back in Black, or whatever." And I'm like, "Yes, I understand, but I'm not going to pick them because somebody else is going to pick them. I figured they were going
Of
to get picked."
course, I'm
so-
going to pick them.
That has to make the list though, because that's an all killer, no filler.
Oh, you got Hell's Bells, Shoot to Thrill, What Do You Do for Money, Honey, Giving the Dog a Bone,
Have a
Let Me
Drink
Put My
on
Love
Me.
Into You, Back in Black, You Shook Me All Night Long, Have a Drink on Me, Shake a Leg, and Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution. It doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah, well, I think it's right behind Thrillers, the highest selling album of all time.
Yeah, Thriller sold 70+ million albums
Yeah.
to date still, and most
I
of
know
those.
the top three is Thriller, Back in Black, and the Eagles' greatest hits,
So that
which
Thriller-
doesn't even have their greatest hits on.
Yeah, I have Thriller as one of my list here, and back when we had to go buy albums,
Oh yeah,
he sold 32 million copies in 1984.
yeah.
How's that possible?
I've got one. I bought it back in '85 somewhere.
Yeah, you can still buy it at Walmart in the
Yeah. But I
vinyl
mean, I've got
section,
the
but-
original pressing. There.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but no, AC/DC, that's a great call.
And the thing about the AC/DC album too, if people don't know this, and most people do, so I'm just rambling as a music guy, but the album before that was Highway to Hell with a different lead singer, which is as good as Back in Black and is all killer, no filler. They put two albums out back to back with two different singers that are like Mount Rushmore albums. It's like no other band's ever done that. I mean, well, I guess actually think about it, Van Halen,
I was gonna say,
1984
you're
went.
gonna just talk about your group here.
Yeah, they went diamond with 1984, and 5150 is almost 7 million now. And the only reason it didn't probably hit diamond is because people weren't buying vinyl then. Those early Van Halen has 2 diamond albums, and that's because it's their first album in '84, and it was everybody bought it on vinyl. Then we got to rebuy it on cassette, and we got to rebuy it on CD. So that bands, our generation spent a lot of money on the same album multiple times. Yeah.
And then singles too. If they put out singles, you'd buy the singles
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
And the singles, the cassette
Single,
singles,
yeah.
which were the dumbest things ever, and I wish I'd never wasted money on
Oh,
singles.
I probably bought a ton of them.
Yeah, I did. So, all right. My last one is a heavy metal record, and
Finally.
and it is the first heavy metal album to ever go platinum. Do either of you know what that was?
I want to guess. I'm not looking at the paper like Jan. I would say probably it's a Metallica album.
No.
Oh,
You would be. Y'all are never gonna get this because
Megadeth.
no. This was number 1 in 1983. I'll give you one last chance to guess.
What does it begin with, Bob?
I'll just tell you what
Can
it
I
is.
buy
You're
a
not
vowel?
gonna- Huh?
Can I buy
Yeah.
a vowel?
What is it?
I'll tell you what. It's Quite Right. Mental Health.
That's considered heavy metal.
Yes.
I just hard rock to me.
No, it's heavy metal.
I consider. I mean, but
It's considered heavy metal because it is known as officially the first heavy metal album to ever go #1 on Billboard.
well, they also put Beyonce as a country artist. That don't mean it's
well,
right.
I'm still telling you it's metal. Mental Health. The whole album
It's
is Mental
rock.
Health.
Hard, I got it. It's a hard rock
Okay.
album, but
It's
it's
Metal
a
Health.
hard album though. It is
I
a great album.
Had Come On Feel the Noise with Flip Side, Mental Health on 45, and then just bought the cassette because it was so freaking
Didn't we
great.
just see them last year?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
In big old
You got
North
something to add
Carolina.
to this?
No, I was just going to add that October 2nd, 1982, Accept's fourth studio album, Restless and Wild, was attributed to starting the speed metal movement with their song Fast as a Shark.
Reckless and Wild's a great song by Accept, by the way. But yeah, they're quite right. And the thing is it's an anomaly because in the 70s they got together with Randy Rhoads from Ozzy's band
Mm.
as their guitarist, and they put out 2 records that couldn't even get released in America because nobody wanted them. So they were huge in Japan. I mean, it's all I'm
Right.
saying, but they had 2 albums never been released in America other than bootlegs. And then they put this album out, and it just hits.
Yeah.
And what hit was because they did that cover. Come On Feel the Noise is the band Slade. And if you ever listen to Slade's version of it, Kevin Dubrow, the lead singer, Quite Right, sounds exactly like the singer for Slade. It's no wonder they covered it. But they would tell you, you see interviews like, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that song. The producer made us do a Slade song, so we did it. And they said we didn't even try. But it rocks so hard. That song
Right.
rules. Their next album comes out, following up that one, and it's Condition Critical. They do another Slade cover. Mama, we're all crazy now. It's another Slade
Yeah.
cover. So don't tell me you don't want to do a Slade song.
I remember buying that album. That's, if I'm thinking right, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the one where he's in the straitjacket, right?
Mental Health is
Yeah,
straight jacket.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
that's what I'm talking. I remember buying that because
Condition Critical is him laying on a gurney with the
Yeah.
mask on his face, and
Well-
they're like taking him into a hospital.
I remember buying that album because of him in the straitjacket. Like, it
Yeah.
was just cool. Like, oh man, I'm gonna buy. That's probably a pretty cool album. So I remember that.
Yeah, and I just love Quite Right, and
Yeah.
I've loved him forever. And I remember in the late '90s, me and some friends went and saw the Rock Never Stops tour in Charlotte, and it was, I think, Night Ranger Styx headline, and then Ted Nugent and Slaughter, but the opening band was Quite Right. But it was the classic 4 guys: Frankie Manali on drums, Rudy Sarzo on bass, Carlos Cavazzo on guitar, and Kevin Dubrow singing. And I was there for that. And they opened that show, and this is at Blockbuster Pavilion in Charlotte.
Oh
Then
yeah.
holds 19,000 people, whatever. There might have been 1,000 people in the seats. Matt and Bill got up to go get a shirt, and I don't care. I'm standing in my seat, pumping my fist to every Quite Right song like this is the greatest thing
Yeah.
you ever saw. Bought a
Right.
shirt, a Quite
Mhm.
Right shirt. Probably the only one that bought one that day.
When I go to concerts and we go there, there's always that one guy who's there to see the opening act. It doesn't matter. They got their fan, and you're just like, that's Greg. I mean, it's just like, I don't know this group from anybody, and this one guy's up there jamming out, rocking out to
Yeah.
that one guy. But you got to start somewhere, and to be on that stage, gets you known. I mean, it helps spread the word.
I would love to be able to go back and look at all the bands that opened for bands that I saw that hit
Yeah.
it big then. I know you saw a lot of opening bands did jam end up being big.
I did.
Can you remember any of them?
No.
Okay.
You know what? It didn't make any of our list, which is in my stack. How come we didn't say Purple Rain?
Yeah, okay. Last night we was talking about this. All of us was like Purple Rain, yeah.
Yeah.
And I think
I-
we all
We
consider
were
that's
all
just a
afraid that-
Yeah.
because
Because I had it printed off. I mean,
Yeah.
it had 2 number 1s, a number 2, and number 8 single. I mean, it just
I'm actually shocked that none of us had the same ones.
well, I really thought me and you would have OU812, and that's why 5150 is one of my other ones, and it was probably going to take the spot of that if you had OU812.
And another one that I had was Scarecrow, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah.
Such a great album. I mean,
He was already out of the Mellencamp then. I was out.
yeah,
so.
but no, I mean, it was just that was my list of things, and like I'm surprised we didn't have any matchers, like any like.
I could have made this a lot
duplicates.
harder though,
How could it be
because
harder?
I was trying to do my researching today, and I was looking through my '80s playlist I have on Spotify. If you do the top 5 best songs of the '80s, now
Well,
that'd
I
be
was
some
thinking
fist
that
fighting.
too because I was riding over here, so I was just having my phone play 80 songs out of what I've got,
Yeah.
and then Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy.
Oh yeah,
That's a
be no
great.
better than that.
I Ran So Far by a Flock of Seagulls.
Oh, okay. Last thing then before we wrap this up, because we've gone almost 52 minutes.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed like it.
Time flies when you're having fun. I'm throwing it to Chris. Chris, favorite '80s song? Go.
Favorite 80 song of all time?
Yes, go.
Faith.
All right, Jan. Favorite '80s song?
Face the Day, Great White.
Mine, Purple Rain, Prince.
Yeah.
And I also want to say that I messed up earlier when I said Face the Day was on Great White, Great White. Face the Day was on Shot in the Dark,
Come on.
1986,
You
Great
should be
White.
ashamed.
I know. I am ashamed.
Some fan.
By the way, no Ozzy album made anybody's top 5.
He got honorable
Yeah,
mention.
honorable mention. on
Yeah.
that, Jan, yeah. So, all right, well,
So I hope everybody listens to Bang Tango Psycho Cafe, DAD, Disneyland After Dark, No Fuel Left for the Pilgrims. They actually got sued and could not call themselves
yeah.
Disneyland After Dark
So
anymore.
they're DAD.
DAD. D-A-D. Look them up.
Okay.
Great album.
I will.
And don't forget to listen to Kicks, Blow My Fuse.
I think of Kicks, I think of the cereal. I'm sorry. That's what
no.
I'm thinking.
Think of the band because they had a great song on their album, Piece of the Pie. I mean, who don't like songs about pie?
What kind of pie?
It's
Cherry?
here-
Warrant. Cherry Pie. That was a great album.
here's some of the lyrics to Piece of the Pie. And the dude just wants some pie. He says, I want you want to taste this better on top. I just want a piece of that pie.
Parental
Ooh,
guidance.
the cream starts to rise. Make me cry for the piece of the pie.
Oh,
Great album about a guy wanting a piece of pie.
We didn't put Winger on there.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, 17 would
Yeah.
be in my maybe
Yeah.
top.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we could go
Yeah.
forever on
Yeah.
this. So I'm going to wrap it up. But hope everyone gives this one a listen. And pop into the Pixel Underground Facebook page or go to the pixelunderground.com and go to the Contact Us page and send us your top 5 albums of the 80s. And we'll discuss them on a future podcast. So I guess that's it. We're out.
Peace out.
Shine on.
The Pixel People Pod.